Welcome everybody. Okay, so for those of you that are repeats, you know what the story is. For those of you that are new, welcome aboard. Simple, works really, really easy. First of all, what I'm presenting is my own personal trading analysis. None of this is a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Any trades you make are at your own risk. So make sure you have your risk in check and trade accordingly. Other than that, I will be presenting some of my analysis over here on different assets, and as we go through them, I will pause for questions. After that, excuse me. Take a key. Okay, so with that. All right, let's get to business. So that's that. I'm going to walk on through the, yes, live trading session is going to be recorded. I haven't decided about that question yet. Well, I'll figure it out. I don't know. I'm not sure I want my account information all over the internet, so not really sure if we're going to do that. I'll decide. I'll let you know, but everything else is recorded. We'll see about the live sessions. Other than that, let's just get down to business, and we will figure it out as we go along, okay? So first of all, last week we had a really nice week. You know, a continuation of the sell-off that we were looking for started. And now we're sort of coming to an area where, you know, we sort of can go either way at this point. And I'm going to sort of lay out a roadmap of what I think we're going to see over the next couple of days. You know, in general, we're going lower. No question about it that we have not seen the lows on the last leg down over here. This move down on ES is not the low. Okay, we will be going for sure lower. The only question is, what are we doing from this area right here? On Friday, I think we were really just stopping out all the weak shorts with that big bounce. And the question is, you know, are we going back a little higher, somewhere over here maybe? There's some supply zone over here I want to show you, and then break down? Or are we just going to bang around inside this area, you know, and then break down? We're breaking down. The question is, you know, what's the roadmap to down? Is it just up a little bit first? You know, I don't think we're going to see this level just yet back here at the 2800 plus. But, you know, could we get up here? Yeah, it's possible we get up there, you know, today. Not today, obviously, but Monday or Tuesday. And then later in the week we break down. So I'm just going to lay out the levels that we're looking to watch, and we'll figure out really tomorrow which one of the scenarios is going to be playing out. If we just start retracing Friday, tomorrow, the sellers just show up early, and they just start reversing what we saw on Friday, then no question what's going to happen. We're going to break down here, and that's it. It's over. But if they're still here and the buyers let them get a little bit higher, which I'm sort of leaning towards only because I think they want to suck some more sellers, some more longs into this before they really crush everybody. Notice what happened last week, right? On the weekly chart, we got this big-ass engulfing candle. Okay? It's extremely bearish candle. Okay? Huge. All right, and we're looking up here in the monthly as you know, potential for this you know, failed hammer stuff going on. So obviously it's very early in the month. We don't know what this candle is going to look like yet. But from a weekly perspective, the bears have control over here. All right, we tried to rally up. We got the hammer the prior week, right, where they were trying to get above, unable to. They got slightly above, and then the bears just crushed them. They wiped all these guys off the map. So the question now is, you know, okay, we're going lower for sure. This low back here is nothing. We're going through that. We're even going through this. Are we going to bang around in here first before we make that move? And that's really where I'm a little unsure yet. And I'll say that I need to see a price action tomorrow to decide that. There's a supply zone that's really nice. You can see it right here on the 240 zone, on the 240 chart. It's the 50 moving average of the 240 zone, 240 chart as well. And right inside that little supply zone up there. And I'm pretty sure that that's the level that we need to you know, to make sure that we don't really break too far beyond. Somewhere inside this zone, as long as we stay underneath here, we're fine. Okay. Anywhere inside this area, we're good. You know, once we get through this supply zone over here, if we get through this thing, then we have an issue here because we're going to get through this, and then we're talking about maybe potentially going all the way back to that supply zone on the daily chart, the 20. was it 18 was the area over there, right? That level up there, that one is going to come into play. I don't know if we're getting there or not. This one up here, this 2813 area, this thing over here. So, that's what we're looking for. Right now, it's just a play down into, into this zone. Pretty sure we're going to see that, maybe even in the overnight. And then as long as we stay below here, it's time to get short again. So for now, it's really, if you're short, you're going to have to sit through some pain. I think Monday is probably going to be early up, and then we'll see if we get the reversal later on in the day, or it's going to come Tuesday. But at some point this coming week, we will attempt to break this low back here. Okay, so so we have to plan accordingly. Okay, that's what we got so far. For now, we're going to see Monday what happens with as we get up into this zone. So as soon as the reversal starts, we can start getting short again. Friday was pretty much a bull rush, right? They were just going up there and trying to stop out anybody that was going short from prior days, and they're just getting rid of the weak hands. Basically, that's what they're doing over here. Let's take a look at some supply levels up here that we're going to be watching over here. There's one here, right? That's where you just arrived in. This is the one that pretty much this whole area over here, no, not that far up, but let me fix my little drawing there. It's this one here, and then this thing over here, and that's really it. Once we start getting through this 27 area, then we're talking about getting probably through the top up here, and then then that's a different ballgame. So then the bulls have really got control. If they're able to get through all this, then we have to worry about getting beyond this high, which is the lower high on the daily chart right now, right? So there's nothing we can do for now other than you got to watch for now. Okay, and we're going to watch for these levels to start to react, and then we're going to get short again. Aiming the ultimate leg down for now on ES is 2450. That's the target we're looking for. Underneath this last pivot up here, one more leg down to 2450, and then we'll start a really strong rally from down here someplace. So right now on the higher time frame, so we're banging around somewhere inside this area, and what I'm saying basically, as long as we hold this highs back here and we turn around somewhere inside this range, we will go like this down into 2450. Okay, and from there, by that when the time that happens, we'll start looking for our longs down here, and I'll let you know when it's time. But in the meantime, that's the play we're looking for. So whatever happens here on the way up is, just wait for it to end, look for a decent short entry, maybe play some puts when we get up here or something like that, and look for 2450. Okay, that's the PS speech. I'm moving on unless someone has a question. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, and I'll call on you. Cool. Let me just open up my little question thing over here. Brandon, what's up, brother? How you doing, Brandon?
Hey, Joe.
What's up, man?
Do you think I understand what you're saying with the lower highs, and coming down, but don't you think it's possible that we might stay maybe range bound a little bit longer?
I don't think it's going to last more than are you saying the whole week? The whole week?
No, not the week. I'm thinking probably more like for maybe the next 2 months or a month and a half.
Oh no! Absolutely not happening.
Okay.
No. No way. Absolutely not. That's not
okay.
That I don't see happening at all. You'll start talk about inside this range for the next 2 months. Impossible.
I was thinking the 2550 to the 2800 area, but.
Yeah, so 20 that so this low down here and this high up here, and
I
understand what you're saying.
Maybe for the next 4 to 6. Okay.
Yeah. Nope. Not happening.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Not strong enough.
I'll answer you why. I'll say I can hear what you're asking. My question is because we've started to see some real selling pressure, which we haven't seen in really more than a year. Something that's setting up that looks like this. If the bears don't continue this down, forget about up here. We're going through the top, new highs. We're not staying range bound. The bulls are either going to crush the bears on this move here, or the bears are going to take control and push this down. Okay, we're not staying inside here because we're at all-time highs, and we finally set up for a potential sell-off with a lower high here. And everybody knows that, right? The bulls understand that if they give up this low, we're going much lower. And they also know that if they can get through this lower high, we're going much higher. So they're not leaving price here, and the bears are doing the same thing on the other side. They understand that. So there's going to be a very volatile trading in this area. Big fight going on. It's not going to last as long as you're thinking. It can only last a few days. And then we're going to see who's the winner. Yeah, okay?
All right.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
All right, anybody else have a question? Next, all right. NASI, let's go to NASDAQ. So obviously the charts look similar. The only thing is NASDAQ looks even stronger than ES, right? We know that on the leg up over here, the NASDAQ got almost to the all-time highs, right? Where the ES lower high is much lower down, the NASDAQ is a lot closer to the top up here. So therefore, on the daily chart, on the weekly chart, sorry, it is engulfing also, but it looks more like twigs, right? And you can see how close it is to the highs. So looking a lot stronger than ES in general. The dragonfly candle over here on the monthly chart is, calling attention because most people will look at that and say, oh, that's a very bullish candle. And they're absolutely right when you look at it again on its own. I've said a million times to you guys already that that's only true if we can clear the highs. If we cannot clear the highs, this actually turns into an extremely bearish candle because there is no more demand underneath. Whatever demand was there was used, and they couldn't make a new high. So the bears will come in here and crush these guys and push it all the way down and break the lows. That's what I think we're going to start to see over here, okay? We're going to be taking out the low. This low back here, again, the same story, is going to break down. It's not going to be as violent or as rough and fast, I think, as the ES, only because the NQ is a little bit stronger over here. The level we're talking about right now is basically this one. Because if we do clear that sucker, I mean, this would be already not fresh anymore, right? And that's the one that's right before the all-time high. So really, NASDAQ doesn't really have that much room. It's got to stay underneath or inside this range in order for this scenario to play out. If it gets through here, we're talking about a new all-time high for the NASDAQ. And, could that happen and then a total sell-off? Yeah, I mean, it could. It could be that they want to suck everybody in and then they just pound it from up there. I don't really know. Can't tell you it's impossible, but I do know that while we're trading inside this supply zone in this area, I'm interested in staying short. I don't have a problem being short until we get through that level, and then I'm going to start to get worried. Okay, so for now, it's still play short. If you're in the trade already, if you're not in the trade, let it bounce around a little bit over here. These are the levels we're looking at for this week. There's supply up here, basically inside this range between the top of the zone and the middle of the zone, somewhere inside this box is where we're looking for another lower high. There is room. Oops, sorry about that. I just got a little out of control there. Let's do that again. Okay, there is room for this to continue up. You can see there's really not much in the way. Likely to see 6,900. Are we going to get through, back to 7,000? I don't think so. And if we do, there's going to be new all-time highs on the NASDAQ. That's what it comes down to. So it's keep our eye over here. And once we turn over again, you could start pounding on the shorts because that low back there, that one all the way down there is not going to hold. Okay. The odds of the low being in on this leg, I would put maybe 10%. That's the low, and we're really going to make new highs. I can't see that happening. It's very weak low. It was just bang, bang. We pushed right out of it, and it needs a retest, which we haven't done yet. So even if we are going to hold that, it's not going to be without pushing down into it first to make sure. So, I'm very, very confident that we're going lower from where we are now. Is it going to be Monday? Probably Monday afternoon, maybe Tuesday. But by Wednesday, we're going to be pushing lows again. Okay, that's what we're looking for NASDAQ. Crude. By the way, Wednesday we'll be together. This week, by the way, Wednesday is a live trading session. It's going to be our first live trading session together. So we're going to have the webinar at 8:15 in the morning, and the live trading session is 10 a.m. Eastern. So check out your emails. A link will be in your email coming up in the next couple of days. So we'll be together when that starts to really take off. Okay. Crude. So whoever was here last week knows that I was calling for a major sell-off out of this level. And we did get it really nice pullback. We put in a engulfing candle with a lower high on the weekly chart, which pretty much opens up the floor for us, right? All the way down to this 55 level that I've been talking about for a little while. Okay, well, that being said, if we look back here on the 240, we did get a really nice move on Friday. Again, I don't give a lot of weight to the Friday afternoon moves because they're just, resetting up for the following week. They're getting rid of the weak hands and they're playing around. But you can't deny that this is an extremely bullish pattern. We've hit demand. It's a double bottom. It's an engulfing candle on 240. Can we pop a little higher? I think so. Not only do I think so, I think we are going to actually rally a little bit first. There's a really nice supply zone sitting over here. I'm going to show it to you. And then I think we collapse after that. So we're going to pop up, I think, Monday. And then by, Monday afternoon, Tuesday, by the inventory numbers on Wednesday, we'll be rolling over again. And we're pushing down under the lows under here. So it's going to be, early strength, which I'm not going to be trading long. But I will wait for the short a little bit higher up. Okay. Let's take a look. I'll show you the levels I'm looking at for short for crude. Okay. So this one is don't think twice. If we get up here, hit the sell. There's something a little lower down over here, like on the 15th, where the prior lows are, this area. So I'll lay that one out for you. But if we get up here on the 60, 63, 50, 60, it's just forget about it. Just hit the sell button up here, and we're going to be selling off. There's a nice pocket of air. You see this? This is what's bothering me on the shorts from where we are now, because there's really nothing in the way over here. So if we clear this, which I think we will, only because we've got such a strong move, they want to finish this sucker off. If we get through that, there is room for it to drift higher in through here. And then we'll hit this 15 zone, which I'm going to show you in a second, and then this thing over here. So I don't know if the 15 zone starts turning around, I'm going to get short. Otherwise, if we were able to clear that, this one is just sell. Okay, let's go up down there and look at the zone I'm talking about, and I'll take crude questions. There's our 15 chart over here. Okay, there we go. So let me zoom out a little bit. Here it is. Okay, so this is what we're looking at over here. So this zone just starts, it's like level on level, right around here. So it's around 63. Right around 63 is what we're looking at. It starts a little bit lower. You see over here like 62.50 is where you have to really start watching it, because it may not get all the way up into the zone. But you see where all the prior lows were and all that fun stuff back here, and that's where the supply is going to be sitting. So, there's a blip over here, little 62-ish type of thing, and then there's this pocket of 50 ticks right in the middle over here. Okay, so we're looking for shorts, and right now I think we're going to start to see still a little bit more drifting higher, and then we're rolling over. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So once it starts up here someplace, think about getting short, and the target's going to be 55 on the way down now. Okay. Yes, Loic. What's up, man?
Hey, Joe. Joe?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, your question.
What do you think about the price stopping at 61.78, 61.87? Because that's a 50%.
Yeah, really small, little tiny zone in there. I can't really see it holding much, especially because what we're looking at over here. For this zone to get hit, we're going to have demand underneath us right here. We already have all this basing going on over here, right? So even if we do hit this thing, we're likely to just backtest a little and get up into this area that's a pocket of air. So I don't think we're going to break down out of this zone. Unlikely. Okay, so I have the zone there. It's something going to happen, but I can't see that really holding price. I think we drift a little bit higher. Someplace inside here is where I think the price will turn. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. All right, no problem. Anybody else? All right, moving on. All right, so that's our crude. We're looking for, again, early week, a little bit of strength, and then some big sell-off coming. Gold. All right, so whoever traded gold with me last week kicked butt. Okay, and we've got right into our target zone. Okay, we were talking about reaching into this zone of the daily chart, and beautiful. And we could see it down here on the 240. We landed right almost to the tick inside the demand, and we shoot right back up, and we land inside the supply, and we closed the week. Friday was a really strong bounce on gold. So what's happening here? Okay, are we still going lower? Yes, I believe we are. But again, I think we're going to see higher price first. The bounce is not finished yet. I think we have a chance to get a little bit up into like this 1330 something area over here. and then we're going to start to roll over again. So for now, gold still has strength coming, a little bit more, maybe another $10 or something like that up to here, and then we start to look for the shorts again. Okay. For now, our target on gold is around 1265. That's the final target. So this little bounce that's going on here is the test of 1300. Right, and even if that is going to be the bottom, which is possible, it needs to be back tested first. It's not going to just turn around right there and start shooting out of that sucker. It's going to come back again and make sure it's going to hold. Right, it's only one touch down so far on this leg down here. Right, and we already have a lower high on the daily chart. So for this to turn around, it needs to come back first, make a higher low, and then it can start the retracement. So that will happen from this 1330 something area I just showed you on the 60. It's right around here. That's where we're looking for this thing to start to roll over again and test back down here. I think it's going to break down and get to our 1265, but we'll find out. Okay? So for now, hold off on the shorts until we get up a little higher. When it starts turning over, we're going to get short again. Okay. Okay, so that's gold. If you're long from Friday, you can hold on to that also. You're counter trend, but you've got a little bit more room to go. Okay. Anybody have a question for gold before I go on? Okay, natural gas. So you could see that the bleeding stopped like 3 weeks ago now, right? We get this inverted hammer over here, and then the nice close rally up, and then another green candle high, making higher highs, higher lows. So it looks like the selling is, for now, paused. Right on the daily chart, there's the bottom, and we've rallied up so far and dojied out. We're basically chewing through this supply over here. That's what's going on. And on the 240, that's looking like a flag over here. Right? This week was pretty much sideways action over here. We had this little flag. We're banging against the highs back here. We're just chewing through supply. And there were a few attempts to actually turn this around and push it lower, and they were all met with buying pressure, which means I think the bulls are taking control of this market. I actually think we're going to gap up pretty large tonight because we're sitting on 60. Look at this 60 chart over here. And you can see that there was major selling going on this week, and every time it was met with a big buy, right over here, bang, and then pushed down hard, still higher lows, and then boom, new highs, selling pressure here, boom, they fight back. They tried again, even though they didn't make a new high, right? And then made a lower high, and the bull stepped in again and just blasted out these guys again, and then we just went into this flag pattern right here. Right here, sitting inside this sucker, and we're banging against all this crap, and there's room up here. So I think we're going to actually see a gap up tonight. They've been trying to fight through this 2.8 level over here all week, and they weren't able to get through there. I think they're just going to gap through it tonight, and then we're all going to be off onto the races. The leg up for now, I think, is around 2.850 to 2.9 for nat gas. Yeah, so there's the 2.8 and change. This level is not fresh. I'll show it to you. I think we're going to get through that sucker also. Take that back. I'm sorry, that's not the level. That's my exit. That is a fresh level. I was thinking about 15 zone back down under here, which I'm going to show you in a second. That's not fresh. Yeah, this is the level that we're going to exit any longs right before that zone because that sucker is really powerful. Okay, I'll show you the 15 zone that I was talking about. That's not fresh because that's where I have my target. Here, not gas. So zoom out a little bit. There's our flag, and I'll pull you down and show you what I'm talking about. That's the level that I'm talking about. That's not fresh, and that's my exit up there, right before the supply. That's at 2.8. Let's go back there and look at the zone. Oops, too far, sorry. Okay, so there it is. All right, this area right here, the zone is actually created over here. And that's the width go into the zone. So that's not fresh area, and my expectation is we break that area and get down here. Okay. Anybody have a question for that guess? Go ahead, ask away. Nobody. Cool. All right. Dollar. Brandon. Okay, Brandon. What's up, bro? Talk to me. Your mic's on, Brandon. Oh, sorry, it's not on. No, it's on. Go ahead. Yeah, got you.
All right, sorry for that.
No problem.
On that gas, so if we do get the gap up, and let's say it tries to sell off and close the gap somewhere overnight or by Monday, I'm assuming
take the long.
the area.
Take the long. Yep, take the long. As long as you have room to get up to 2. That level on supply is showing on the 60. For now is where I'm exiting this trade.
Yes.
Very strong supply. I don't know how long the sell-off is going to come, how deep the sell-off will be from there. So if you have room to make money up there, we gap up and we hit the first level over here, that 15 zone that I showed you over here, and we leave some room. Expect a little back test early in the morning to hit a long.
Got it. Really? Yep. I'm looking for an add-on spot. I'm still hanging in there with you.
All right, baby. There you go.
Thanks.
I added on a couple of times this week on these pullbacks over here. So
I added on once, but I was looking for another one. Yep. Okay. Awesome.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Joe.
Cool. All right. You got it, man. No problem. All right. Where's my mouse now? There we go. Okay. Next. We're looking at the dollar here, and so far the dollar did exactly what we expected. Right, we were able to come back through the middle of this thing so far, right? And we had a little double bottom we were talking about. We got a little higher up. You can see that. We actually cleaned the entire supply zone out. The wick went all the way through. You could see it on the 240. And so that was fresh supply pretty much, right? For more or less, at least the level that we got to up higher was pretty fresh. And we started selling off at that thing over here. And now we're landing back into the demand zone. Right over here, which I believe is going to hold. We should be turning around on the dollar over here, okay? Right around where we are and popping up into the air over here. And this is the target for now, right? Which means for us, if you're not trading the dollar, which I personally don't, I use it only as an enhancement, the euro is setting up for a fantastic short. That's what I'm saying. And there it is. So I think probably for me, one of the trades I'm really looking to get into this week is this euro short here. We put a beautiful double top in on the daily chart. There's the middle of our double top. We break through it. There's a beautiful pocket of air inside here that goes really all the way down to like 1.2. Right? And what happened here is that we actually bounced out of it, and we're coming back into the supply zone over here. This was one move down. I'm going to just erase some of this and show it to you on a 240 in a second, but this is all one move down off the highs, right? To drop, base drop. There's no real buying pressure at all in here. It kicks in right here, and if I'm correct, then we should see a lower high somewhere right in this range, right around 1.24. That will give us 4,000 ticks. Well, not 4,000 ticks, but whatever, 4,000 points, which divided by 5 is 800 ticks down for euro. Like $5 grand more, $5 grand a contract. So this is a massive short sitting right around here with a target down here. Okay, so I'm going to point that out for you now because that's the one that I'm really hoping to get into this week. That playing out still means there's a little bit more room for the euro to bounce, right? Because we have to get it up a little bit higher. So here's the 240 level. Zoom it down for you because it's sort of level on level over here. You see 1.24. It's right here. Right, so nice looking fresh supply zone above all this base thing, which means we still have a little more room. We can get through here, hit the supply, and then we break this sucker, and then we come in. Well, there's pretty strong demand at that point. If we sell off all the way up here, I might exit my trade down here. I have to see that's a pretty nice looking demand zone. Otherwise, it's 1-2 down here. So that's probably the first target, I would say, right over here. We'd have to probably exit the trade depending on what it looks like as it gets down there. But there is a massive, massive short sitting here. And guess what? There's an interest rate decision for the ECB this week. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to play out come this week. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I need to check. I forgot. I read it this morning. I looked at it. We're actually going to have interest rate decision, which is not that exciting because they're not expecting anything to happen, but there's a press conference afterwards. think it's around 8:30 in the morning. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember, but I'm going to check. And I think that's where we're going to have this massive play come into effect. So we maybe bounce around Monday and blah, blah, blah. I think Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, was the meeting. But that's what we're looking for, a short up there. Okay. Then let me just go into the smaller time frame for a second, then I'll take your question. You see on the 60 is looking like this. And there's the 124 level over here. Okay. 124 is this zone. It's above all this basing back here, right? And there's one more after that if it could potentially get up here. I don't really know. I'm going to look for the short in this area for now, and we'll see how that plays out. And the zone, again, the target on the way down, I just showed you what I think we're going to be seeing. Okay. Take a question. Go ahead. Your mic is hot. Go ahead.
On the EC, I'll be in offsite trading the whole week. Can I do a set and forget at that 1.2 area?
So you can. It's a small. It's not that big over here on the 60 chart, right?
Right.
You know, it looks to be, what is that? 1.24 to about 50.
Right.
About, what is that? 200 is about 40 ticks, right?
Right.
So you know, if you split the zone in the middle or something like that, and you give it 25 ticks.
Okay.
That's not so expensive. It's not so expensive. Yeah, you can do that up there.
Thank you.
All right. No problem. Next week. Yes, sir. You have a question?
Joe, can you go to 60 minutes? Oh, you're on it. Do you mind drawing? Can you draw a zone at 23 695 and 23 850, and tell me what you think? 23 695 850.
695 23. Okay, I'm looking up here. So you're looking at this doji back here. This one?
Exactly, because I was thinking
level on level. It's level on level.
But that's a level from which a new low was made.
I understand, but there's another level that's really close to it, the one that I have over here. Plus, it's an even round number right here. So yeah, not for me. Nope. I see it. We hit it like 6 times over here. All these wicks, all these lows, but it's in right. This is level on level. There's the lower level is what you're talking about, and that's the upper level that I'm talking about. So, the fact that it's right at 124 is why I'm sort of ignoring what you're looking at. It's right at the round number.
So you would ignore it even though it made a new low from there, because that's the zone.
Yeah, because there's another zone right on top of it. It's not. It's too close. It's too close for me. Prior low is right over here. You see it, right? That's the prior low. And that's the zone I'm talking about. You're talking about this one a little bit lower down. And so, no. Yep. Nope. Okay. Don't like it.
So, is that a rule? If it's
for me, when there's level on level, I take the lower level. ECB is Thursday. Thank you, Lena. Oh, so it's off by a couple of days. Okay. So let's see what happens. Thank you, Lena. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Lena says it's Thursday. Cool. Okay. All right, but yeah, when there's level on level, that's my rule. I always take the upper zone. No questions asked.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Next. No problem. Okay. Moving on. So JY had a pretty nice rally this week. Again, you can see on the 240 chart that we pounded up straight, like this bang, 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 bang. There is a new high on the daily chart. I think we're going to see a little pullback first, another little back test over here. We get into some levels that are really fresh as far as supply is concerned. We haven't really, beyond this level that we've got on the daily chart is really the election night wick. That's all that's behind us over here. So, you know, there's really over here going to be a test, I think, before we really take off. We probably end up holding it a little bit lower down over here because if the indexes really do start to sell off like I anticipate, we're going to see the yen rally just because of that, you know, that flight to safety stuff. So again, because I'm expecting the indexes to potentially chop a little higher, there's going to be a little pullback over here, I think, on the yen. We'll probably hold this level around 9.4, and then we'll start another leg up. I don't think we're getting a big pullback over here. Haven't been trading yen so much this week, only because I'm much more excited about trading the indexes than I am trading the yen. So for me, I don't think I took any trades at all in the yen this week. For now, if you are trading yen, you're looking for a back test into this demand zone, basically right around 9.4 that I just laid out for you over here. And, you know, we'll get some kind of new high from back over here. New rally up, okay? Trend is up, so wait for the you know, the demand zone, and then you can buy long. Let's see what it looks like down here. And yeah, there's our 60 chart. After banging around most of the week, we had a nice pop up, and there's the demand, basically right at 9.4. You can see it. That's the level we're looking for over here for a back test of the breakout area. There's the prior highs back here. We break out of that. We make these new highs on the daily chart. So we back test and, you know, come in here, and then we'll start to turn around. So short for now. I mean, if you're a counter trend trader, there's room. Personally, I just wait for the long over here and expect a new high after that. Okay, that's for yen trade. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. So on the weekly chart, the Aussie continued its little breakdown over there. We could see that we had a really nice strong move up here, and we started back testing. We have the drop base drop this week, continuing a little more. You know, so where are we going? Well, I think we're going to, you know, all the way down to 7 over here, 7.5, 7.6. This level over here. You know, when we get there, we'll make a decision if it's going to break or not. I'm not sure. It did get slightly above, so you know, but it looks like a double top. We'll figure it out. But for now, that's where I think it's going. And the route to get there actually is a little up first, I think. We're starting, again, same idea where we're going to pop up into this little 240 zone, and then we'll break down into this new supply underneath us. This is fresh demand on the daily chart. You can see it. And it's that, you know, basically this level down here that I'm looking at on the weekly chart, or it's actually a little bit higher. It's over here. So we'll see as we get down into that. This one over here is the lower part of the demand zone on the weekly chart. And, you know, we'll get down there, but I think we'll do this first, a little bit up and then like this. So again, same idea. If you're going to be short, which you should, because I think that's the trend at this point, is wait out the little bounce for this higher level, and then take the short up. I'll show you where. There we go on the 60, and we're looking at zones over here. Okay. So you can see there's above here some room. We're looking like we're starting to put in a little higher low. This can drift higher. There's the two zones I'm talking about. Somewhere over here is where the short's going to play out. You know, for the next leg down. I don't think we're getting all the way back here. Up here, I think we're going to turn around lower over here, and then we shoot down again into those zones underneath us that I'm talking about on the higher time frame. So the short, I think, is going to come somewhere around 78.20 to 78.30, somewhere inside this range is where we're going to look for our Aussie shorts. Okay. All right. That's Aussie. Taking questions if you have one, otherwise we're moving to pounds. Okay, on the pounds, we got a very, very ugly bearish engulfing candle here after the hammer on the weekly chart. You can see that. You can see the trend line is holding really nicely, and we've got nothing underneath us but air. Look at that on the daily chart. There's the touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches at the top, all of them lower highs, and now we're just chewing through here. Peaking slightly below, and a pocket of air sitting right here. Okay, that brings us down to the target under here, which means again the same idea. I expect again a little bounce up, and then breaking down into this zone under here for the pounds. Okay, so let's see where we can find the way into that trade. On the 240, there's just air above us, right? So let's see if there's a 60 zone somewhere that makes sense for us, because we've hit this demand zone. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, down under here, it's like now it's like wicks against the wall. Really, I traded through what I had demand last week over here. Well, we got this little wick, so it's a small little bounce back, and you know we just broke away from the lows over here. You can see that we're sort of banging against them now. Right, these lows over here is where price is currently trading at. Right there, see it? So you know we get through that a little bit. Looks like it's trying to over here. You know, again it's late Friday, so I don't put a lot of weight into that. But somewhere over here, there's definitely a short where we took out these lows and the overlapping wicks over here. There's a short sitting right there. Okay, we're going to go look for that area. It looks like the 50 average is probably going to be inside that zone by the time we get there. So that's where we're going to look for our chance to break down and look at the pocket of air that I'm talking about over here. So we got your short somewhere over here. It looks like close to 1.39-ish. And, we look for the target underneath here about 1.36. That's, 300 ticks for pounds. Pretty nice trade. So let's go take a look where that level is sitting at. Okay, there it is. So this first zone over here that we're about to arrive into, I don't think really does much other than just pause a little bit. The short is over here. This is the short we're looking for. Okay, that's where the lows of those wicks are. That's what I'm talking about over there. And we get into this supply zone right here. It's right around a little bit before 1.3, 1.4 actually. It's like 139 and change up there. And that's the one we want to catch to ride down into 136. Okay, so up here around 3950 is the zone. Okay, that's the short for pounds. Okay, going on. Unless we get questions, I'm going to keep going, folks. Canadian has a disaster week, and it ain't over yet. Okay, last month's candle, whew, massive engulfing candle. Not only engulfed, it doubled in size. Totally destroyed. It created a lower high on the weekly chart. It came back into the supply zone, which now should break because we have a lower high. And what we're looking for here is maybe a little pause, maybe a dot up slightly. We're not clearing this thing at all, and we're just going to bang over here and then break down again. There's nothing underneath here. Look at this air. Look at this air over here. The target now, 76. That's what we're looking at. And that's it. That's it. This thing should break down. Especially with crude rolling over, that's going to hurt the Canadian again, plus the dollar rallying, so the Canadian gets destroyed again. That's the double whammy. If you want to short something, the Canadian is fantastic short. If we can bounce a little bit and you get on something higher up, oh boy, 76 is the target. So there we go for Canadian. There's really this one up here is super fantastic. If for some reason you see this level, don't think twice, please. Just hit the sell button here. Okay, and that's it. The Canadian is going to collapse, and we're going to 76. Could it get through this? Probably not. I don't think it's going to. It very likely just turns around somewhere before we even get here. That's really what I think is going to happen. But again, there's no entry down here yet because it just looks too shitty. And when the market's open, we'll find something that we can try and trade. But for now, I'm looking, if we can get over here, that's my short for sure. This one, I'll watch it only because the wicks are pretty close. We did make a new low, so it's likely to give you a nice push down, but something that I'd rather not set and forget up here. I don't mind set and forget up here. The other one's even, forget about that. If you can encompass these two zones, sort of leg yourself in and put your stop up here for if you're, like a bigger time frame swing trader, go for that. And that'll just fantastic trade. Short Canadian all the way. Okay, it's got the double whammy with the dollar rallying and crude selling off, so Canadian is screwed. Sorry about all my friends in Canada, guys, but nothing I can do. I'll just tell you what the chart says. All right, that's Canadian. Let's look at copper. So on the weekly chart, we got a pretty nice engulfing candle over there, selling off the highs, and we were in an uptrend up here on the monthly. The weekly chart sort of dropped over here and then back tested a little bit, and now starting to turn over again. So we had a rollover this week, right? And we bounced backwards, and we came back pretty much making this inverted head and shoulders over here on the daily chart. See it? And the question now is what's going to happen right here. This is where we're going to decide the fate of copper. Okay, we've hit demand right over here, rally base rally, and we started to hold a little bit, and we sort of made a double bottom down here. So I think we have a little bit more upside potential before we turn over. I think we're actually going to sell off a little bit more, come back and test this level one more time over here, about this 295, this whole bottom thing going on over here on the weekly chart. but there's room to the upside first. And for me, that means that copper is going to be chopping around, and I'm not ready to take a trade yet here. So let's just look at the chart here for the lower time frame. There's something that makes sense, but and there's much better opportunity, I think, this week than copper. Yeah, so you can see on the 60, it's really messy. There's air out of this level up to here. You could take a short over here, depending on what the level looks like. If it clears that level, this one is more interesting to me. Oops, I just moved the zones, but that one's a lot more interesting. Here. Okay. Other than that, I'm not taking the longs. It's in a downtrend, and there's supply over here, so not excited about copper at all. If anyone has a question about specific zone or something, I'll be glad to answer. Otherwise, let's look at soy. Notice, first of all, that soybeans has now reached the highs that we've got back in almost a year ago, March, I think it was, of 2017. So we're at some places that we haven't traded at in a year, okay? And it was a fresh supply zone on the daily chart, and we got the reversal over here on the 240 chart, and we've hit the demand zone. And what we should expect because of where we got so far so high is we need to back test a little bit over here. We actually had a rollover, and there's a small little gap sitting over here, okay? And I think we need to go back there one more time before we explode out of here, because the next level up after this thing is not close at all. So, we get through the top over here, again, I'm going to open up this chart, and there is new supply is, look how far, okay, 40, another 40. So I think we back test a little bit to like this 1026, 1040 is the gap over here, 1026 is the demand zone. I think we're going to see a little bit of selling early in the week over here to back test this thing, and then we're going to turn around and explode out of this sucker and hit this thing. So soybeans is a long, but not yet. It's a long on pullback, okay? We'll show it to you down here. So this is our 60 chart. There's our demand zone. This was the most recent demand zone after the new high. We've hit it. I think we're actually going to turn around and break this sucker. And this is the gap thing that I'm talking about that's left from the rollover. I think we're going to go back into that thing one more time before we really, really explode. If you look under here, everything's not fresh, not fresh, not fresh. Every level been stair-stepped. They've all been hit. And the zone that we're looking for to join this trade is out here. Let me zoom out and show it to you. Okay, my chart doesn't, there we go. Oops, that one. That's it. Prior highs, little gap going on over here. It's nice and fresh. That's the spot we're looking for, okay? And that's where we're going to look to join the long. So expect some selling pressure in soybeans. And when we get down into this level, look for the long fig. Okay? It's soy. And we are now looking for, last one is going to be the bonds. And then we'll wrap up our weekly Sunday webinar. Okay, let's take a look at the bonds. So on the weekly chart, we had this long-term channel that we've broken down out of, and we've landed in some demand. Okay, usually when we have such a long-term channel, the longer you bounce, the more violent the move is. Pretty violent so far, but I don't think it's over yet, just yet. You can see over here, we've touched only the beginning of the demand zone over here. There's better demand sitting under here inside. So I sort of merged the zones together because we got down there really quick and we got this little hammer thing going on, but I think we're actually going a little bit deeper into this thing. So for that to happen, though, let's take a look at what it looks like on the small time frames as we watch. Again, it's the same similar idea. I think we're going to bounce a little bit first. On the daily chart, we actually got a pair of twins on Friday, it looks like. Give me a second, I'll get to your question. Looking like we're sort of trying to build a little bottom over here, right? See that we got the low back here, and we get the reversal candles right over here, right there. And now it looks like sort of this and this, and we've got a lot of room up here. So I think we're going to try and see a little bit of a bounce here into something over here, and then we break down out of that and get to the deeper part of the weekly demand over there that I just showed you. So let's go see how that's going to look like on the 60. Actually, let's go back to the 240 for a minute. Okay, you can see that we're sort of channeling inside this area over here on the 240, right? The last supply was from here, and then we rolled over, and we ended up pretty much holding the zone again, and now we're pushing on the low. So we've been banging around for the last couple of days, pretty much inside this range over here, and I think we're going to see another turnaround, believe it or not, and then a little higher up. If we can get up into this thing over here, fresh supply, that would be fantastic. There's a 200 moving average that's coming into that area right there, and that would be a great short. Okay, I don't know if we're going to get there, but that would be a fantastic short. Let's go look on the 60 where that is taking us. Where is our US 60 chart? Here we go, and there's our little banging around. We landed in demand, and okay, there's some supply sitting over here. I didn't put on the chart yet. 143 and change. So we can do that. Otherwise, back up there is the level I was talking about. And that's pretty much where the 50 average is, just sitting right there. And that looks like to be like the middle of all this chop. If you take a look back here, that's pretty much the middle. That's where it is. So, all right, those are the two zones that we'd be looking for the shorts to play out. Okay. For now, I expect to bounce out of where we are from the bounds. All right, Malik, I'll take your question. Go ahead, man.
You said on the weekly chart that you merged two zones. What was the behind it? I'm just curious.
Because weekly levels are really strong, and you expect something to happen. You can't just ignore the level because, you're going to watch under here like this, right? And we're already reacting out of here. Look how strong the move was over here to begin with. Back here, right? From here to here, boom, right here, see this? So I just merged. They're pretty close, but I merged them because I expected something to start happening over here. Even though I know it should be breaking down further, it means there's got to be, especially after a big move directly down into the zone, there has to be a little move back. It'll come back usually and test the area that we cleared. Something like that, right? It bounces back, and then it goes deeper down into the zone. So that's the reason I merged the two zones together, because, again, when you're talking about higher time frame zones, you can't just ignore them, okay? They're just too powerful, okay?
Thanks.
No problem. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so I will see everybody here Wednesday morning, 8:15 for our next webinar. I will try to post some trades along the way between now and then, but Wednesday at 10 a.m. will be our first live trading session together. So that'll be exciting. A lot of you guys have traded with me before, some of you have not. I'll go over, how it's going to work on Wednesday. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions, you guys can reach out to me by email. You all have my email, and that's it. I'll send a link out in a little while. You guys can watch the recording. Okay? Everyone have a great Sunday, and be safe, trade smart. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Ciao.